we just wanted to welcome you to our June team training. We've got a very special guest speaker this morning whom we're really excited can share some airtime with everybody out here and all around the world where you're patching in from. And we've got some special recognition as well to share with you, which we're really excited about. So I'm going to move straight into the agenda, just so you know what's ahead. So we're covering special recognition and rank advancements as we always do. And then we're going to bring on Ambassador Diamond Alan Noble from Dallas, Texas, which will be a lot of fun. And many of you have probably already heard about the Reach for the Beach promotion or incentive that's Australia, New Zealand only. It's really important for you to understand what's involved in that. So we're going to cover that for you all in detail so you understand how to get to the South Pacific November 29th, December 2nd this year, which is really exciting. And then, of course, we're going to run through how to stay connected and plugged in when it comes to upcoming events and announcements, so you know exactly what's going on. We're going to cover a few things like how to do, make sure you've got your renewals covered, you know how to do a renewal search in your virtual office, and how to sign up for ASEA VIA on Autoship as well, which not everyone knows. So, yeah.
And a couple things that are happening in the United States, well, and the director's bonus promotion. We'll go through all that as well.
Okay, so congratulations to the people in our organisation the last 3 weeks who've rank advanced to Director 300.
Hey, I forgot my bells and whistles and bubbles. Congratulations, you guys. 75 new rank advancements at the Director 300 level. Amazing.
Well done.
Yeah.
And we have 92 rank advancements at the Director 700 level. So well done to all of you who are climbing the ladder there. And Director 700 is a really great launching platform for
Fantastic.
Bronze. Okay, here are our new bronze executives from all over the world. So we've got great representation from France, Hong Kong, United States, Australia, of course, which is really, really exciting to see this list grow, and very, very deserving, all of you, of the bronze executive position.
Fantastic, guys. This is really, really amazing. I love this compensation plan that just keep creating as many Director 300s and 700s, and that puts you at bronze. So these people are duplicating their efforts and just leading the world in achievement, rank advancement. Well done.
Okay, silver executives. Really exciting to congratulate following silver executives from Spain, France and Australia, and you can see their sponsors over here as well on the right hand side. So well done, great effort, congratulations.
Yeah. It's always a team effort, guys.
Always. Oops, sorry, one more from France. Okay, so following gold executives, we are very excited for Amanda and Robbie Bradford from Toowoomba.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to both of them there.
And we should have their little daughter's name.
Ayla.
Ayla, that's right.
She helps in the business too.
She's, what is she, five years old?
Nearly 6.
She's an amazing part of their team.
She is, so congratulations.
She knows how to talk redox molecules.
Yeah, and Gen Z as well from the United States.
Yeah, so absolutely. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Platinum executives.
That's a huge one.
It is. Fantastic, fabulous work. Australia and USA represented there as well. So that's very, very exciting. Now, we did recognise Mijo a few weeks ago, but she did fall into this period of recognition. So again, congratulations to Mijo from France.
Mijo only signed up like 6 months ago, guys.
November, yeah.
She is setting the world on fire, certainly setting France on fire. Her business is growing rapidly into Spain and throughout Europe. So Mijo, really a huge congratulations to you and your team. And of course, to Mal Sword as her sponsor.
And Christina Sword, who's put in a lot of work helping with the team too. So congratulations to all of you.
Well done, guys.
And of course, Richard Lee. No, Richard's on the line. We had him speak last time, but congratulations again, Richard, for reaching the Ambassador Diamond rank. And then I'm just going to look to see, because we have Mal Sword who advanced to Ambassador Diamond as well, which is so exciting. He's driving right now, so I'm just going to see if I can pull him up. Did you want to talk about Mal whilst I do this?
Yeah, look, Mal is one of the, he is a legend in the industry. He's been around for a long time. He's taken a couple different companies to the top. And yeah, I say that sometimes, sometimes we've been involved with other things. It's been a little bit of a training ground, because with ASEA, we can truly make a big difference, not only with the products, but with the business too. So Mal was one of the first people that it was actually Dan invited Mal to come over to the United States in the very beginning when we learned about this. And I went to the fly-in in the US. I called up Danny, and he invited Mal to come over and have a look at ASEA with him. Mal didn't get started right out of the gate, but when he realized, where this was going, the potential it had, he's jumped on board. Mal he really knows how to talk the business side with people, create vision, show people how to create the freedom that they're looking for. So let's see, I don't see him on the call here right now. Maybe we can bring Mal on a little bit later, but truly an inspiration, and congratulations to Mal for going to Ambassador Diamond. It's a huge, huge rank. He's one of the top, I believe it's 13 in the whole company that have hit that level or above. And so it's a massive, massive accomplishment. Well done, Mal.
Mel has a massive work ethic as well. So he just has big vision, and he's consistent and persistent with a lot of certainty as well. So, and just to reiterate with Richard Lee, he's been on the top of the leaderboard in pretty much everything. So once again, just to acknowledge Richard as a phenomenal, phenomenal leader. You're doing great things, Richard. So you guys are amazing. Okay. So here are top emerging leaders for week 19 and 20. Across the company, you can see Dan Ming Cheng, number one position week 19, and Richard Lee, number one position in week 20 as well. So congratulations to all of you on this list.
Again, I mean, Melissa just mentioned this, but this is across the entire world. The top achievements in emerging leaders is pretty amazing.
And week 21, Lao Yi as well. So congratulations to all of you. It's really fun to see. So top associate enrollers, you can see week 19 and week 20, Kaz and Jen. So Kaz Nicholson and Jen Sherwood from Australia, who ranked number one in week 20. So congratulations to both of you ladies.
Again, those guys are amazing.
Yeah, and week 21 listed there as well. So well done. And top Autoship All-Stars, so congratulations to Dr. Wayne Pickstone and Karen. They're regularly in the top 5 for Autoship All-Star enrollments globally. So congratulations to Wayne and Karen, and also Julie Watts as well, their sponsors. So you can see those for week 19 and week 20.
Yeah, fantastic, guys. Well done. I know Wayne's on the call with us today, so.
Yeah, you are. Thanks, Wayne. Okay, so Dublin, we've got a couple more names added to the Ambassador Extension qualification for Ireland. And we've got Richard Lee and Mal joining Dan and Suzanne in the castle, along with Alan Noble. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to it.
There's still time, guys, to add your name to this list. We want you to come to Ireland with us.
Definitely. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to our special guest speaker today, Ambassador Diamond, Alan Noble. Alan progressed to the Ambassador rank really quickly and into the Diamond ranks very quickly with ASEA. He's been there pretty much since ASEA's inception. He has an amazing track record. He is everyone knows Alan as the Amazing Molecules, but also he chaired ASEA's advisory council for a very long time as well. So he's helped to steer the entire direction of ASEA globally. He's got a sound mind, a lot of enthusiasm, and he has absolute conviction with where ASEA is going globally. So we've invited him today to come on and share a little bit about ASEA VIA because of his background and his absolute passion in the nutrition industry, and also talk a little bit about the importance of attendance at events. Funny enough, we're going to be obviously in Alan's hometown in Ireland and then your hometown in Dallas. So ASEA's just put on an entire incentive this year revolving around you, Alan.
I know. Hey guys, thanks for having me on this Zoom. Fantastic. I probably made the most egotistical joke you could ever make. And it was a joke, just in case people thought like my head was exploding. But the wrap up a convention, when I heard it was going to Ireland and Dallas, it was like, I feel like a planet. I have my own gravitational pull now, you know. But that's a joke. So, hey, look, I just want to say before we get started here, I was just scribbling down some of the rank advancements, and that is a sure sign of a business on the move and a sure sign of just tremendous leadership. And guys, a lot of it comes down to the two of you and to Danny and the partnership you formed in the early days. And I mean, this is a really impressive list, a really impressive list. And what's exciting about it is to see your business flourish. You built it solid in Australia. You built it on Renew 28. You built it as solid as a rock in your local market, and now you're receiving the fruits of that market now beginning to bounce out into Singapore, into Hong Kong, into France, into the US. And I love it. And, you know, sometimes we miss the importance of this. I talk about the three aspects of network marketing, the three wealth components. You've got leveraged income, earning beyond yourself, build a team as big as you want. Residual income, earn over and over and over again, which is the freedom part of our business. And then global income. Why do we want to earn global income? Well, imagine having a business that never sleeps. You guys have a business that never sleeps. When you go to bed, let's see, I have to work it in the opposite now. I know it from my perspective, but in your perspective, you know, when you're going to sleep, we're just getting our day started. The American team, so as you're sleeping, your American team are growing and building, and you're literally making money. Melissa, you're making money while Bart snores. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, you know? So sometimes we forget about that. But I just want to congratulate you, because I know you built a lot of people get excited about this exotic idea of faraway businesses. But you guys built a rock solid local business first. And now based on that really solid foundation, you're reaping the benefits of the international business. So, hey, like, congratulations to everyone. Congratulations on your new diamond in France, your two big ambassador diamonds, Richard and Mal. Just phenomenal. It's so exciting what's going on. So we had to start with that.
Thanks, Alan, because this wouldn't have eventuated without you. So,
well, I think that's very kind. Probably a little too kind.
I don't know about that, because if you hadn't opened your mouth, you know, we wouldn't be here. So,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we're very grateful.
You've been the pioneer. I say the pioneers are the ones with the arrows sticking out of their back, and you've certainly taken a few in the process of growing this right from the very beginning.
There's a few. I still keep a tube of Renew 28 handy, just because. They're almost healed. They're almost healed.
Good.
So thank you for joining us. I know that we said, well, I just wanted to let everyone know too that you have a gorgeous wife, Tanya, and two beautiful daughters.
No, they're okay. They're okay.
Husband, no, they're gorgeous. I haven't seen your daughters for a while, but hopefully we'll see them in Dallas this year. But I know too, as an interesting note for your background, one term that you've used that is just so true for so many people around the world, particularly for me, once you graduated from Queen's University in Belfast, you really considered yourself to be psychologically unemployable, even though you graduated with an international degree in finance. So I think a lot of people in their hearts really feel that way and join this industry. So I love that term.
Yeah. Well, there's a little story behind it. I'll try and keep it brief here. So I graduated a degree in international finance. I actually was a frustrated musician. I wanted to be a classical flute player. And I just realized at about 16 that, you know, I was good. I played principal flute. I was the #1 flute player in the university orchestra, even though I was a finance student, which made some of the music students a little upset. But anyway, but I knew I wasn't of the caliber, you know, I wasn't winning international competitions at 14 years of age. And so I knew if I had done music as a full-time career, I probably would have been broke most of my life and ended up resenting it or hating it. So I kept it. I made a decision to keep it as a really strong hobby. And it's something that I've carried through even when I took a break from being an entrepreneur in my early 30s. I taught music. I taught music from 6th grade to 12th grade, and I loved it. I taught flute. So it's always been there, but I kind of used my math skills, became a finance major, graduated top of my class. I traveled, you know, a lot of countries around the world. I had all this music as extracurricular stuff. So here I was with all these check boxes, that employers were looking for, you know, more than just the degree. And I'll never forget, and this is kind of appropriate because one of the tours in Ireland is to tour St. James's Gate where they make Guinness. So St. James's Gate, Guinness, the Guinness company, the oldest company in Ireland. It's like the company to go work for. I don't know if they give you free Guinness or not, but it's the company to go work for. And I was there as applying to be a trainee management accountant. And I'll never forget getting round to like almost the final round of interviews and sitting in the big inside office, like the belly of the beast at St. James's Gate, Dublin. And all this mahogany paneling and all of the pictures of the Guinness family, you know, hundreds of years back, this big Irish family. And I've never felt so claustrophobic in my life. And the idea of clocking in and clocking out and being told when to show up and, you know, just being told what to do with my life for the next 40, 45 years. I had this nauseous, it was like food poisoning. It was just this queasy, it was like being seasick, this nauseous feeling in my gut. And I'll never forget, they finished the interview and they said, well, look, Alan, this has been fantastic. We've really enjoyed this. Do you have any final questions for us? And I'll never forget slapping my hands on the table, standing up, pushing my chair back and saying, no, I think we're just about done here. And I walked out of my first and my last job interview. And it wasn't until years later that I realized that this was a term, psychologically unemployable. But even at 22 years of age, it was just a churning feeling in my gut. And thank goodness the network marketing industry came along because I don't know what I'd be doing, to be quite honest. I saw the network marketing industry and it was like, boom, this is it. This is what I want to do with my life. Just made sense to me. The whole business model made sense. Yeah. Now, it was a journey to find the right company in the business model, but that's a whole other story for another time.
Well, actually, along that line, though, part of your journey was in the nutritional realm. And I think I'd like to just have you just share a little bit briefly what led you to ASEA, because it was your dad having some pretty serious health challenges, right? And so that's what really gave you the knowledge of this experience, and plus your background in networking to begin with.
Yeah, so I started with a company. I actually have the book here. I rarely have it out, but I was doing a training the other day and I'd referenced this book called The Boom Business of the 90s. Now, before everybody scrambles to get it, it's totally out of print. But look, this is where I first saw the circles being drawn. Look, you know, it was the first time, you know, these concepts of leveraged income and exponential growth. I mean, international finance, you think they teach you a little bit about wealth creation? No, they don't. They just simply teach you how to look after other people's money. You know, they don't teach you how to actually create wealth for yourself. And it was only when this little book crossed my path, it was actually my father-in-law, Tanya's dad, had been pitched on this network marketing business, given this book. He was a very successful businessman in his time, what he was doing. And he gives this book to me and says, here, give this to Alan. It'll keep him busy, you know, over the summer before his master's. I was going to do a master's degree. And I didn't bother reading it. I'm not a big reader. And Tanya kept saying, have you read that book? My dad keeps asking me. So to keep peace with the girlfriend at the time, I finally read the book. And this is the only book I've ever read from cover to cover in one sitting. Only book. And it's only, it's 92 pages long. And when I read this book, I couldn't put it down. And all of a sudden, the vision of what this industry could do, to be able to get started, I think sometimes we forget, to be able to get started with such a tiny, tiny investment, and have no employees, to have really no overhead, especially today in the world of the internet, you know, and to be able to build the kind of businesses that we build, it's the most incredible business model in the world. And so I started with the company that this book kind of came along with, and I was kind of in the water filter business for about 2 years, and I struggled and I struggled and I struggled. You know, I liked the product well enough, but there was just something missing. And then that company launched their nutritional products, which is a very, very famous nutritional product today, probably one of the most famous. And it was in that space that I began to get exposed to the body's amazing ability to heal. And I became, I just found myself fascinated in the world of nutrition and vitamins and minerals and whole foods and phytonutrients and bioflavonoids and enzymes and all of these wonderful components to food, and how these can be a phenomenal resource into the body to allow the body to function as we're designed to function. And so that's kind of where my love affair with nutrition and wellness and health and wellness matched up with network marketing. And that, it was when those two came together, that's when I found my voice in network marketing. And there's actually a convention story about that. We'll talk about it maybe later. But yeah, that was the beginning. So then fast forward, I've been associated with various nutritional products since then, some really good products. And then when my dad got sick in 2009, I went looking for, and I call it a resource to help my father's body heal. You know, to really try and tap in and give my father's body the resource that it needed to bring about this healing. And, you know, I was kind of looking around the antioxidant, the glutathione world, you know, to see what was out there. And I'd never heard of redox signaling molecules. And the interesting thing is when I heard about redox signaling and redox signaling molecules, within 5 days, I was on a plane to Salt Lake City on my own dime. Number one, we didn't have fly-ins back then. And number two, I wouldn't have qualified. I'd been out of the industry for 8 years. And so I was no hotshot. I wouldn't have qualified for a fly-in. And I went on my own dime. I was pretty flat broke at that time. A $99 flight from Denver to Salt Lake City was a big deal. In fact, I put it in my wife's credit card. That reminds me, I have to pay her back. Melissa, remind me to give Tanya $99. So I put it on her credit card. I flew to Salt Lake City. So here's the deal. It was a big deal for me to do that. Now, what made me go to Salt Lake City? There's a training point here. What made me go to Salt Lake City? It wasn't that I understood redox signaling. In fact, it really wasn't explained very well to me. There were no videos. There were no presentations. People were trying to figure out how to talk about it. Well, the reason I made that financial commitment to go to Salt Lake so quickly was I had my curiosity piqued. And I think sometimes people spend their time focusing on the wrong skill set. The skill set is not about being the expert. The skill set is not about being able to explain the biochemistry of redox signaling. The skill set is learning how to pique interest. It's how to develop curiosity and intrigue with little phrases that don't explain a whole lot, but leave people going, huh, never heard that before. I wonder what that's about. So when you say, does that sound like something you might like to know more about? They go, yeah, absolutely. So little phrases that today I use, we're much better at it today than we were back then. But things like, look, it's a technology that's 10 to 15 years ahead of its time. I love that phrase. That phrase just has me going, well, what is it? What is it? Yeah. You know, and that's a truthful phrase. That's not hype. That's out of Dr. Gary Samuelson's mouth himself. I was saying 5 years ahead of its time. He says, no, you're 10 to 15 at least. And so we have a technology that's 10 to 15 years ahead of its time. Hey, Melissa, any challenge you can think of, we're just seeing absolutely remarkable results. Doesn't explain anything, but it gets people going, huh, well, what's that? Do you want to know more? Absolutely. And so it was my interest, my curiosity was piqued in those early days. And then I think we went through a phase of just trying to be experts. And that's not what builds the business. So just a little training point there. It's all about curiosity and intrigue. Create curiosity and intrigue, and you will get people begging to know more.
What a brilliant golden nugget. That is so true. Learning how to pique interest. Don't try to be the expert. I love it.
The only industry in the world, this is the only business in the world where you don't get paid millions to be the expert. You do it in the real estate industry, you do it as a dentist, you do it as a pilot. Hopefully the pilot's an expert. I hope he's an expert. You know, we buy properties here, we have rental properties in Dallas. I like my real estate agent to be an expert. You know, I don't want to throw money down the drain. But in network marketing, we've got to put our ego aside and not be the expert, because experts aren't duplicatable, and our entire business is built on duplication and leverage.
Well,
so,
yeah, even bringing on an expert, letting them the synergy of the three-way phone call, that sort of thing. I'm kind of curious though, because you've been involved with a number of other companies, you'd kind of been in the industry, you dipped your toes in it, you understood the power of the leveraging and what we've got. in your mind, when you went there, when you met Dr. Samuelson, Vertus Norton, saw the technology, what is it in your mind that really sets ASEA apart? You know, to me, it feels like we've got the only game in town. It feels like this is, you know, there's a lot of good companies, a lot of good products, but I think we've really got our hands on something that's really special.
Yeah, I can still remember that first meeting. You know, when it's interesting, it's always, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. There are times in your life when you don't know that that day is going to change everything, you know, like when you meet your spouse. There are days where Tyler would call them inflection points, where your life just is going to go in a different direction. And you look back at that day and it's amazing, even though you're not aware of it right necessarily in that moment, looking back, you can almost remember everything about that day in detail. And I can still remember that day in very, very clearly. And one of the things I remember, we were talking about being psychologically unemployable. One of the things I can remember was shaking Vertus's hand. And for the first time in my adult life, this tiny little voice in my head said, I wouldn't mind working for this guy. For the first time. Isn't that interesting? The first time I actually thought I wouldn't mind being an employee of this guy was the CEO of the network marketing company that is ASEA. And that says a lot for me, because part of the first thing was realizing that this was a man that I was willing to follow. I often say to people, sometimes at convention, I'm sure you guys get asked this all the time, people want the magic pixie dust. Give me the one tip. Give me the one tip that's going to change everything, you know? Give me the secret, the magic combination to the success lock. And so I developed two answers. And the question is, well, do you have network marketing experience? Have you ever been in this industry before? And if they say no, that this is their first rodeo, my magic pixie dust is very simple. Don't take ASEA for granted, because ASEAs do not come along very often. Now, if they've been in the industry before and they have figured that out, that ASEA is a very unique company, then my advice is always get connected and stay connected. And so, hey, congratulations to everybody that's tuning into this call, because you're getting connected. So those are always my two big pieces of advice. But if they've never been in the industry before, do not take ASEA for granted. We all got to kiss a few frogs to find our princess. Some of us have the taste of frog still in our mouths, but if you've never kissed a frog before, you don't know. See, it was my bad experiences. This is why you never curse the journey. You never ever curse the journey, because it was actually some of my worst experiences in network marketing that actually allowed me to appreciate and value and believe in ASEA. It wasn't my good experiences, it was my bad experiences. You know, Bart, it would be like dating an absolute crazy witch. And then all of a sudden, Melissa comes along. Well, because you've got this experience, now you can go, wow, she is really a princess. You know, it's the same thing. So you never curse the journey. We're always learning good experiences and bad experiences. So
true. It's not just the luck of the Irish then.
No. No.
Yeah, it's interesting. Life happens for us, not to us, is kind of another way of looking at that. You know, it's all the things that are from our past, and everybody has that, you know, whatever experiences they bring to the table, it's all brought them to the point of where they are right now. So I love what you're saying about is recognizing, you know, what we've got here and actually doing something with it, you know, so.
But the gratitude factor too. I think once we lose gratitude, we lose the purpose of being here, in the sense that we really should be absolutely grateful every day and not lose track of that, which is what you're saying, simply because for all of us, we've all had that moment of complete and utter gratitude in our ASEA journey. Every single one of us. It might not come at the very first meeting of Vertus or Tyler, but at some stage it comes and it moves us, as you know, from the head to the heart, and then that completely changes everything. So yeah, it's been exciting. And your journey...
Gratitude is the fastest way to shift your energy. If you want to get into the, you know, the mapping of human consciousness, from shame and guilt being the lowest vibration, all up through, you know, pride, courage, joy, bliss, etc. you know, by simply focusing on what you're grateful for is the fastest way to shift that energy field, absolutely fastest way. And then if we understand the law of attraction, that we attract people and circumstances that validate how we feel about ourselves. If you want to, you know, if you want to shift that energy field to attract, you know, higher vibrations around you, simply focusing on gratitude is the single fastest little trick to make that shift. Take anybody out of a funk, you know. And so, hey, just to finish the subject, as you can tell, I bounce around from subject to subject here. But
great.
One of the other things that when I was at that meeting in Salt Lake City, I started looking back. I was a little egotistical because I start telling these guys, I start telling the founders of ASEA and Dr. Gary Samuelson how they should start marketing this product. And I start coming up with language that I would use, you know. And so, but one of the things that I saw is at that time we were really focused on the glutathione. You know, that was the only science that we had, was this 800% increase in glutathione effectiveness and 500% in superoxide dismutase. And so that was the only connection. There was no talk about of genes or athletics or metabolites or skin or wrinkles or cellular renewal. It was just that antioxidant piece. And I remembered having this visual that, you know, imagine walking down this corridor and, you know, it's almost like on the first, you've got these early antioxidants, you know, your vitamin C, your vitamin E, your vitamin A, and you continue to walk down the corridor and there's another door, and this time it's like pycnogenals. You remember those from the 90s, you know, they're kind of supercharged antioxidants, and you keep walking down the corridor and there's another door, and this one is, you know, the super juices with their ORAC scores, you know, and then you keep walking down the corridor and now you've got the master antioxidants like the glutathione, the SOD, the catalase, and you think you've reached the end of it. Now we've arrived at the place where these are the antioxidants, the master antioxidants of the human body, and you think you've reached the end of the corridor. And then all of a sudden, you notice this little room at the end of the corridor. And you open this little door, and it says redox signaling molecules on it. And you open it up, and all of a sudden, there's this massive ballroom at the end of the corridor. And you thought you were almost at the end, except this little redox signaling door, and it just opens up a whole new world. And that's the way I kind of saw it, that we were literally opening up a whole new world in health and wellness. You know, when we say that we have a category creator, and I don't mean to get, I know this is a business training call, and here I am on a product soapbox, but when we say we have a category creator, there's a very simple way to explain this, and that is if you take this product and you put it in the health food store, what shelf does it go on? There's no shelf for it. You need to build a shelf for this. One of the challenges in taking this around the world is you get the bureaucracies of all these various government agencies, and they don't have a little box to check. That's a true sign of a category creator, when there is no box to check, when you have to literally build the shelf, because the category before us, it didn't exist. And so that, sorry, I'm just getting myself excited here. I'll keep quiet.
Oh, I love it. Keep going. It's fantastic. People. Yeah.
Well, let's talk source. Let's talk about our new super duper product.
Let's do it. Just on that note, though, I remember when I was at the fly-in, I remember Bart, as he said, if people really understood what we have our hands on, we would be bigger than Apple Computer overnight. I still remember that. So that ballroom that you're talking about is really amazing. And I love how Dr. Samuelson talks about the molecules being the contractor, but we still need the nutrients. You know, we need the building blocks. And I know that, I mean, this is your field of expertise. We'd love to hear your take on the ASEA VIA.
Yeah, look, there's probably others on this call that are maybe more educated in nutrition. You know, I have a pretty good layman's knowledge of nutrition, but so I spent 7 years with a nutritional product, and we had some success with that. It's a very big product today. They've done what, 6 billion or something with that product over the years. And I look at this, I look at it as a source, and there's 3 things that I see. Well, from a business point of view, first of all, what I'm so excited about, can I do a screen share on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I can. Let me, hold on one second. Yeah, let me do a very, oops. I got too many windows open. Oh, I can't find it. I was going to do a little whiteboard screen share.
Oh, I wondered how you did that the other day.
Yeah, I got too many windows open. It doesn't matter. I can explain it. You know the early adopter curve where you've got the innovator, the early adopter, the early majority, the late majority, and the laggards.
Yeah.
I love the laggards. And so there's no laggards on here. The laggards don't have computers. So we've got this curve, and there's no doubt about it. Look, our redox technology is the innovator early adopter. We are still there. And that's a great training point, because the bottom line is you go out into the marketplace, people aren't ready for this message yet. It's a technology that is way ahead of its time. Now that excites me. That's where I like to be. I want to be on the front end of the curve. What's really exciting about Source is it's further along the curve. It's in the early majority. Okay, it's in the early majority section. And so this is a really exciting place to be, because all of a sudden the ASEA VIA range, and in particular Source, opens up a whole new audience to us. People who aren't quite ready for redox, because they think, well, there's nothing really wrong with me. They haven't quite got the redox prevention side of thing, but they've been preached at for 80 years about the importance of nutrition. Let's think about some timelines here. So redox started 9 years ago. Antioxidants started, what, 35, maybe 40 years ago? Vitamins and minerals started 80, 90, 100 years ago. Some of the very first vitamin supplements were around the early, 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, I think would probably be a pretty accurate starting place. So let's say 80 years. And so think of the timeline that has been, think of this product acceptance curve, but now go 80 years into it. That's why most people take a vitamin supplement. I mean, if they've got any interest in their health whatsoever, they take a basic vitamin supplement. That's why people understand and talk about antioxidants. That's why 7-Up has cherry flavored antioxidant formula, in our sodas. Because the message has been preached for 35 years on antioxidants. But redox is only 9 years old, 10 years at the very, very most. So it's much earlier on the curve. The exciting thing about Source is it now takes us into the chunky part of the curve, the early majority, the late majority, this big part of the hump of the curve. So all of a sudden, with the launch of our nutrition range, it all opens up. A whole new audience opens up. And I got to tell you, I am really, really excited about that. Now, what makes me excited about the product is it is a very high quality product. And I'm really grateful that our company that probably could have rested their laurels on, hey guys, we just did the biggest breakthrough the health and wellness industry's ever seen. We just did the biggest breakthrough the anti-aging skincare industry's ever seen. We can hang our hat up. Let's just come out with some mediocre nutrition product and ride the wave. Let's be done with it, These guys work tirelessly behind the scenes to create what I think, and I know it sounds biased, but in absolute hand on heart, what I believe to be the finest whole food nutritional supplement that I've seen. Some people seem to be having a little challenge in the video here. Did I mess things up when I tried to do a screen share? I'm not sure.
No, it could just be an internet challenge. So
okay,
we can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, you're good.
So the three things that I keep coming back to in Source, I said them at the launch when it was first launched, and I've been thinking about it, and I'm still on the same three things. And that's number one, quality of ingredients. Number two, diversity of ingredients. And number three, bioavailability of ingredients. And so just very quickly, quality of ingredients, okay? Quality of ingredients. No synthetics in this product whatsoever. None. That's really important to me. My body doesn't know how to absorb synthetics. They don't know. And so I love the fact that this is 100% whole food, plant-based nutrition. That's really, really important to me. I don't want to take synthetics. I don't want to take products that makes my pee weird, bright colors, okay? I want broad spectrum plant-based nutrition. My body is designed to absorb its nutrition from plants. And so that's the starting place. Non-GMO, 100% non-GMO, many certified organic. And so this is really important for the quality of ingredients. Diversity of ingredients. You know, I have never been a big fan of, you know, the single juice products like the noni juices, the mangosteen juices, the acai juices. I've just never been a big fan because we're not supposed to go through life just taking one ingredient. We're supposed to be getting, I mean, you just don't eat broccoli as your only vegetable. I mean, God help us if it was your only vegetable, you know, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to have a diversity of ingredients. And so I love the diversity. 24, I think it's 24 whole food superfoods in the product. Our sea minerals, our trace minerals are coming from land and sea. So you've got this wonderful diversity of ingredients. And then the third thing, which is absolutely the icing on the cake, is the bioavailability of source. You know, you've got this enzyme matrix where it lies, the enzymes are pre-activated with their cofactor minerals. This is really, really important stuff. In order for enzymes to help break down the nutrition and drive it into the cells, they have to be switched on. It's kind of like our antioxidants have to be switched on with redox. Well, these enzymes have to be switched on with their cofactor minerals. If you read the label, you'll see there's 4 enzymes and 4 cofactor minerals. Calcium, zinc, manganese, and magnesium, I think. Don't quote me on that. They're the cofactor minerals that are there, ready to go. They're already activated. And so this is a patented enzyme formula for us, okay? And then you get the ferment nutrients. And this is really important. A lot of our B vitamins are these glycoprotein ferments and other ferments. And these are almost like pre-digested vitamins ready for your body to absorb. And one of the things that we're hearing over and over and over and over again about source, probably the most common testimonial I'm hearing is people feeling balanced. They're having a sense of balance. You know, we've had quite a few people that maybe, you know, have some maybe mental health challenges and other things where anxiety plays a big role in their life. And they're taking source and they're leveling out. They're feeling balanced. They don't have the same anxiety that they used to have. And so I think that's coming down to these very, very bioavailable B vitamins that are great for our nervous system. So look, to me, it's just a phenomenal product. And you can put source up against any product in the industry. And when we fully launch this, remember what we have right now is just the pre-release. When the company fully launches this with the entire pricing structure and all of that they're going to be doing to make this a building platform for us, I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be absolutely huge. ASEA VIA is going to be a big, big part of this company.
You know, it's one of the comments you just mentioned. It's almost as though it's pre-digested, which is kind of an interesting way to think of it. But I've taken vitamins in the past that I thought were really good stuff, but actually ended up throwing up because I took them on an empty stomach.
So yeah. That's a really, really good point. Another thing that we're hearing about source is I have not yet talked to one person who has felt nauseous taking these vitamins, not one. And I've talked to a couple of people that said, look, every single vitamin I've ever taken, it just doesn't make me feel good. I mean, I feel I have to take it with food. Source, you can take it on an empty stomach. And you know what? Maybe it's a little early to say this. I don't want to, define the protocol of taking source. But I take source, I don't take it with food. I take it first thing in the morning with a glass of water because in my mind, the enzymes in source are in a quantity designed to help the assimilation of the nutrition in source. It's not an enzyme product. The enzymes are specifically formulated to enhance the nutrition of source, to drive that nutrition into the body. And so I don't want to be, you know, eating my omelet or egg whites or whatever I'm having in the morning at the same time as Source. I don't need to. I don't have that nauseous feeling. And so I think it's probably best to take Source by itself. You don't need food with it. And then it allows that quantity of enzymes to actually work with the rest of the product.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I love is this is all based on whole foods. There's nothing synthetic. There's nothing, man, if it's not, what is it? They say if it's made in a plant, don't eat it. And if it comes from a plant, then eat it.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, the other thing is a lot of people today, they have this methylation issues of their body actually processing a lot of the folates and B vitamins and things like that. And I think, again, this is why the synthetics aren't cutting it. They're not cutting it. And people are going back to plant-based. But unless you put these absorption technologies in place, like the glycoprotein ferments and the enzyme matrix, it's still hard for some people to process those plant-based vitamins. And I really do think, and this is just me speculating, don't take this to the bank, don't like go put this in your PowerPoints. But I believe that we're seeing some of the really great results with anxiety and bipolar, sorry, I shouldn't say that, anxiety and mental imbalances. We're seeing some of these great results because people are actually able to utilize these B vitamins amongst the other vitamins. Trace minerals are as well. They're like little spark plugs in the body. I mean, they have such a profound impact. So look, I'm excited about Source. I told the company, I said I could go build a business on this one product alone. I'm not saying I want to, don't want you to get rid of redox, but I could build a business on that one product alone. And of course, it's just the first one. We got a wonderful probiotic. Probiotics are the fastest growing part of the nutritional world. People are really beginning to understand that it happens in the gut. Your immune system's in your gut. A lot of it, everything's going on is in the gut. And so this is super important, the probiotic. And then they haven't released any information on the cellular health product. They're super quiet about that. So I have to come to convention to hear about that.
Yeah. It's go ahead.
Oh, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, you know, when you actually, you know, I've seen some comparisons. If you were to take all the different ingredients, you know, a couple cups of the sea grasses and the oils and all the different things that come with, you know, that come in there, we'd be spending a whole lot more than what the price of the product actually is. So it's extremely affordable. A lot of people are saying, look, this replaces a half dozen things that I've been taking. And I know when they were doing some of the initial evaluation on this, what is it, over 90% of ASEA associates are already taking some sort of a supplement. So this is a huge boost to our business, guys, and a chance to take and increase the market share for what people are already spending. So to get people on this, as well as the ASEA Renew 28 skincare products, I think it's really important, because what we've got here is not just another good nutritional product. It's really, I believe, the best on the market. When ASEA does something, they don't do it half right.
And I've got to say too, I'm definitely less crazy. Definitely.
Well, hold on a second. If you're crazy, you can't be the judge of that. Bart, is she less crazy?
I've got her back.
Yeah. No, I definitely noticed a massive change for me psychologically in my motivation levels, my ability to focus. I just feel so much better. And the only thing I've changed is Source.
Yeah.
I've added.
Well, so here in the house, we were going through some challenge. We had a rental property issue going on with the tenant. We were buying a new property. We're selling this property. And it was just a lot going on. And Tanya was, you know, feeling just anxious about various things. And she really noticed that when Source came along, just a leveling of moods. She just felt just calmer. Just, again, this is the most common thing we're hearing about it. People are getting energy, the hair's growing faster, the nails are stronger, all of those wonderful things. But it's really interesting to hear about the mood. So look, it's going to be a big product. It's going to be a very, very big product. And I would say to people, look, don't get too caught up right now with where we are price point and 45 PV and things like that. Guys, the company didn't launch it to build with Source right now. It's a pre-release. They launched it for us to just experience it. Kind of get used to the fact that we have something more than redox. We have something other than redox. and it just kind of easing us into the nutrition world. How we actually build with this product and how it's all going to come together, how the entire ASEA VIA range is going to come together, and how that is going to interact with Redox from a business perspective and a pricing perspective, guys, that's all going to be unveiled at convention. And so maybe that's a little segue to get into convention here, because that is the big event on the calendar. What have we got, 90 days to go or something like that? 89 hours?
Yeah, tell us about events. Why should people be at this convention? And yeah, this is going to be another huge event.
It's going to be a big one. And you know what? I always, you know, I feel a little cheesy saying what I'm going to say, but guys, it's going to be the biggest and best we've ever had, because we say it every year, and it is. I mean, things get bigger and better continually with the ASEA, but I really believe, short of, I would say, this will be in the top 3 conventions that we've ever had. The first was the actual launch of the company, and we did that at the Paris Hotel in Vegas, okay? And I should have got the t-shirt that said, I was there. But that was a big one. That was a really big one, the official launch of this company. I would say another big one was the launch of Renew 28. Another big moment in this company to take these molecules topical. Guys, this next one is in the top 3. Now, last convention was huge with the launch of the gene signaling study. That was a really big convention. That convention, here's a way to think about it. I'm a big picture guy. Let me give you the analogy. If you imagine the first 9 years of this business, we have really built it on anecdotal testimonials, correct? Correct. We really have. We built it on lives changed. And so our testimonials are up front like this, and our scientific validation, although we've good science, our testimonials were way ahead of our science. What that gene study did is it brought our science right up neck and neck with our testimonials. We're now able to point to the gene signaling study to say, hey, this is why this is happening. Before, we didn't really know. It had this mystical, magical property, but now with the gene signaling study, it's like, no, this is why it's happening. And that has given us tremendous confidence and validation in the marketplace. And I think this is why we're seeing tremendous numbers. Every market's up. Every market, every marker in every market, from Autoships to enrollments, to volume, to ranks, everything's up in all across the world of ASEA. Everything's up. And it all started from that gene signaling study and convention. And I look at that as kind of closing the first chapter of this company. That's the first chapter. That's the foundation chapter. Now, somebody might say on the outside, hold on a second, Alan, are you telling us it's taken you 9 years to build the foundation of this company? And I'll say, yeah. And they'll say, well, does it not just take normally 2-3 years to, foundation and then go into growth? I go, yeah, but most companies don't have a category creator. We couldn't piggyback on anybody else's information. It started with us. Again, it's like vitamins in 1940. It's like antioxidants in 1980. It started with us. Most companies get to piggyback on previous success stories. We didn't. It was a cold, hard start. And so it took us a little longer to build the foundation. And I really see the gene signaling study as the end of that period in our company. And don't get me wrong, guys, over $500 million in sales, year-on-year growth. It's been phenomenal. What I now see is now we're in this kind of consolidation year between convention to convention. That's where we are right now. I then see this launch of ASEA VIA into our nutritional, into this early majority, this bigger marketplace. I see that as really the beginning of our second chapter. And guys, this will be the big chapter in ASEA. This will be the chapter of momentum. This is the part where we are going to do more business in the next 3 years than we've done in the past 7 years. Okay, this is the time when things are going to really start accelerating and growing. And I believe so just like the gene signaling study put an end to the first chapter, I think ASEA VIA is going to officially launch the second chapter. And so it's such a cliche to say the timing has never been better, but hopefully this explanation will show you it's just not a cliche. There are very, very real dynamics going on in the business right now where not one of us should be asleep at the wheel. I'll tell you this, the Ambassador Diamonds aren't asleep at the wheel. The presidentials aren't asleep at the wheel. I mean, we're moving because this is a timing that will not repeat itself. The next 3 to 5 years will not repeat itself in ASEA. So this convention is a pivotal mark. It's going to be a big inflection point. Now, I know you guys coming from Australia, it's a big deal. But I'm going to tell you a very quick story, and I know I'm running long here. I apologize, but you did invite the long-winded Irishman onto your call, so that's just a price you pay. I remember when I was struggling in network marketing in the mid-90s. I just couldn't get any traction. Now looking back, I realized I just couldn't get out of my own way. And I was not making a lot of money. There are Director 700s in your business that were further along than I was. And there was a convention coming up in America. It was an American-based company, and there was a convention coming up in America. And it wasn't their big convention. It was kind of their half-year, semi-annual convention. And nobody from Ireland was going. Nobody. And yet I wanted to achieve success. I wanted to become a professional network marketer. I wanted this to work more than anything. This is what I wanted. And I could have filled lots of excuses. I didn't have the money. Nobody else from my entire company was going to it. But I made the commitment because of my desire level and my belief. I made the commitment to go. And something very interesting happened at that convention. I stayed in the most rundown hotel you can possibly imagine. Okay. I think I took a bus or something to go to the convention. And so, but I made it happen. And I went to that convention, a struggling network marketer. And I walked away from that convention a leader. And I can look back at that convention with that other company way back then in the mid-90s as another big inflection point in my career. And I don't know if I hadn't made that commitment to be there, to go through the financial stress of getting there, if I hadn't made that commitment, I don't know that I would have made it in network marketing. I don't know that I would have kept on the path and that I would have been here now in ASEA, living the life that I've always wanted, you know? And so the bottom line is big things happen at big events. And this is a big event. And so look, I know it's a journey, but I cannot encourage you enough. Everybody listening to this call, if you really do plan a serious career with ASEA, if you plan to be here a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, there's no better investment you can make into your future than being at convention in Dallas this year. And I certainly can't wait to greet you and hug you and say hi and congratulate you on your commitment to your ASEA business. So I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there, Bart.
Well, I can relate 100% to what you're talking about, big events and the stretch to get there. I've got one of those stories as well, and it is a game changer. People say, I don't know how I'm going to do it, how I can afford it. You can't afford not to be there because it's really just a decision. And this is something that can literally compress years into months. Because when you come away and your vision is that much bigger, your conviction is that much stronger, you're conveying things at a whole different level when you're talking with people, the inspiration that comes with that, not to mention the networking that you get to do. You're going to be right at the very first in front of not just ASEA source, but really the whole product line, which really is going to be pretty astonishing from what I hear. And you gonna let the cat out of the bag and tell us all the cool details? Or?
Don't know anything. Don't know anything.
I think he knows.
It'll be like, hey, Jerem, can I talk about? No, hey. So, no, look, I love what you said there. See, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking they're going to hear about information. And it's like, well, why am I going to fly 16 hours to go, hear information that I can get after the event? Absolutely. You'll get all the information. You'll probably have post-convention meetings, and there'll be Zoom calls and team Zooms, and there's PDFs, and I'm going to be working away making my PowerPoints. I mean, the information's going to get out there. Absolutely. But if you notice what Bart said, none of it was about information. Bart didn't mention information once. He mentioned vision. He mentioned conviction. He mentioned belief. He mentioned the energy of getting around leaders. Guys, it's almost like there's an expansion in ourselves. You don't walk away the same person. It's nothing about knowledge. It's nothing about information. Yeah, that's all going to be great, but it's much bigger than that. It's a non-tangible that you're going to get at this event. But that's how this business is built. This business, to quote the great Glenn Martin, he says, this business is built from the inside out. It's built from within first. And that's what happens at this event. And that's what you can't get on a team Zoom. It's what you can't get at these smaller events. It happens at the big events.
Yeah. Well, Alan, we certainly appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and insights on ASEA VIA, learning a little bit about your background. We can't wait to join you in Dallas and don the cowboy gear.
I got to go buy some cowboy gear. I've been here so long and I still don't have any. Gives me an excuse to go get a pair of boots.
That's right. You're not supposed to say those things publicly. But that's true. We've got plenty from Utah, but it'll be really fun. We definitely, and just a reminder for people to absolutely get in and book your rooms because it will fill up. We've stayed at the hotel before. It is like a city unto itself, like you were describing the other day, Alan. Oh. It's an amazing location. It's, like you said, everything's bigger and better in Texas, and it actually really is. It's phenomenal. Yeah. They've also got a Delta code as well that we can get to you for people who are flying internally in the US, or even for Australians flying once we reach the mainland over there. There is a Delta code for more inexpensive ticket prices, which is really worth doing. So yeah, we're excited about that, and we're excited you can take us on a tour at the Guinness factory. You know all about it.
Yeah, I don't think any of them will recognize me as that little that school kid that walked out of the interview. So
hey, just one last thing too. I understand that there's a little congratulations. You bought a new home, I guess, recently.
We did. The home that ASEA bought. Yeah, we just bought some. You know, I'm a big believer in buying assets, not liabilities. That would be a great conversation for another call. But yeah, we just bought a new property, and just very, very grateful to ASEA, to everybody on the team, because that allows us just to have a phenomenal lifestyle. And what's really exciting is to think we're just getting started. We're just getting started. We're just getting into chapter 2. So and I really do. Congratulations to everybody in this team, guys. This team is just such an incredible team. Your leadership, Bart and Melissa and Danny and Mal and Richard and Lorene, and I mean it's just phenomenal what you guys are doing. And the company's watching. We're watching, and it's just really exciting. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alan. It's been a real privilege and an honour to have you on today. And we've had a couple of people in the chat box say we could listen to you all day. So all the more reason to get to the convention, because we're not sure when you're scheduling Australia into your 2019 agenda yet. But I know you've had pressure over the last few years.
Yeah, well,
we have. But no, look, I had a great time. First Australian tour back in, was it 14? We did the first one. Yeah. Or was it 16? 14.
Yeah, it was actually our first ASEA event.
That's right. I met you up in Brisbane.
Yeah.
I met you in the lobby in Brisbane at the hotel in the meeting. That was our first meeting. That's right. See, another pivotal moment. You never forget it.
So true. We'll give our love to Tanya, you girls, and thank you so much, Alan. It's been...
Oh, thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Hope it didn't take too long, but thank you.
Amazing. Brilliant.
Perfect. Hey, you have a fantastic evening, and thanks again, Alan.
Thanks, guys.
Yes. Bye. Always so amazing to talk with. So I'm glad that you stayed on the line and were able to enjoy Alan this morning, because he does have a lot of words of wisdom. You can see his passion with the ASEA VIA source and further product range as well that will be launched at the convention, and his passion in this industry. So yeah, so thank you again. And we've got some very exciting speakers next month too, whom we will be announcing here shortly. But we wanted to make sure that everyone, particularly in Australia and New Zealand, you understand the Reach for the Beach promotion. We've had a couple of questions through the week on various aspects of it. So Bart's going to run through it now, just so that you fully understand every aspect of it. So stay on the line to make sure that you've got this down.
And there's some cool things we're going to go over for the US as well. This particular promotion is for Australia and New Zealand. So it's called Reach for the Beach. This promotion is for the South Pacific. They're still locking in the block of rooms. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say where, but it is the South Pacific island. It's going to be spectacular. So let's just take a look at this. How to qualify for this is pretty easy. First of all, you want to have a definite concerted effort, make a decision to do it, because the clock has started now. It started about, on the 1st of the month, so it started about a week ago. To win, what you need to do is enroll 15 to 28 people. There's different levels, and we'll go through that in terms of how much you can win towards your travel and the trip. And you earn volume on every enrollment, and also the Autoship volume that's created, not just at the time of enrollment, but for each Autoship that those people participate in. So obviously the idea is to get people on get people enrolled, get them on Autoship, and have them stay on Autoship. So it rewards us for the proper business building behavior, which is to follow up with people, make sure they're on the product, staying on the product, that sort of thing. We can also, this counts for not only associates, new associates, but also preferred customers. So the contest actually started June 1st, and it's going to go until, it's going to go until September the 30th, which is October 1st for us, because they always run these based on US times. But the contest is for a 5-star resort. Should be absolutely spectacular good time to network with other leaders and the corporate team and so forth as well. So a chance to really enjoy the beach and just connect with people. So again, it's for Australia and New Zealand. Now here are the prizes. Now, by the way, these prizes are in US dollars. So I think when I figured out this grand prize to begin with, it's like 5,400 Australian dollars is the value. Now the cool thing about this is the grand prize, you tend to think first place is for one person. It's not. Every single person on this call, well, that is the people that are in Australia and New Zealand, associates, can win this grand prize, which is really, really cool. We're not just talking, everybody can be a grand prize winner. So it's 2,000 US dollars in travel reimbursement. It's 1,800 US dollar value for a suite for 2, and $250 worth of really cool swag from the company. You can see the second prize is just scaled down a little bit. So your suite would be maybe not quite as nice, but still quite nice. $1,500 in US dollars travel reimbursement and so forth. You can see third place is $2,400 value, and fourth place is $1,910 value toward reimbursement on this trip. So the date of the trip, you want to mark your calendars because you want to make a decision to absolutely be there. It's going to be November 29th through December the 2nd. So let's take a look at what it takes to actually make this happen. Now, in my mind, the only place to go for is the grand prize. Shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll land amongst the stars and you'll still make it second, third, or fourth place. But definitely go for the grand prize, I would suggest. And so what that means is that you want to enroll an average of 1.6 people a week. So I would suggest, set a target to enroll 2 new people a week. If you have a few weeks where you've just enrolled 1, you're going to fall within the average. So this also has a volume requirement. The volume requirement is doing 11,000 points during the contest period. And again, remember, it's not just the enrollment volume, but it's also the Autoship volume that counts with that from the people that you brought in. Anytime they do an Autoship order, that will count. So if you figure that volume out, that's averaging 650 points a week. So it's definitely doable. So let's just take a look at this. You can see what second, third, and fourth place prizes are. It would just range in terms of how many people a week. So even on the fourth place, a little less than 1 person a week, and getting people started. So let's take a look at the next slide. So how to meet the enrollment requirements. Now this is important, guys. You need to, when you enroll someone, they need to place an order for at least 100 points, and they also need to set up an auto ship. Now, here's the reality. Let's say you've got someone that says, well, you know, I'm not sure if I want to do the auto ship. I just want to place an order for now. Our goal is to set them up for success. So what I'd always tell people is say, look, today is the 9th of the month. Your auto ship would take place on the 9th of next month. If you're not sure, let's set it up right now so that you're eligible for the loyalty points that you're going to get from this order. And that way we can set a reminder, let's say on the 4th of next month, and we can just reevaluate. And if you want to cancel it, we can cancel it at any time. So you want to make sure, because if you go and cancel an auto ship afterward, it's still going to count for the contest, but you also want to set them up for the success, for the loyalty benefits and so forth, as well as get the benefit on this contest for that new person coming in. So you definitely want to make sure that that part of it is taken care of. Preferred customers, they also count. It's only 50% of the volume for a preferred customer on that auto ship template. So you just want to remember that. Also, preferred customers, if you set someone up that way, they do need to have an auto ship to be a preferred customer. So the volume is determined by commissionable volume. So an associate who enrolls with one case of ASEA is going to generate 100 points, and a preferred customer with a one case order, that would be 50 points that would count toward the contest. And then remember, auto ship orders that's placed between June 1st and September 30th with these new enrollments counts. Now, the best thing you want to do, I love these enrollment pack examples. So look, I remember when we get started, we were financially in a tough spot. We didn't have a budget for redox 60 molecules, but we did understand the value of investing in our business. And so we came in with an entrepreneur pack. And at that time, it was only Renew 28. So we had 32 tubes of Renew 28. I guess the idea is if we show people how to set them up for success, where they have some product to use, some product to sell, some product to use to promote, having the sample tubes, they have additional benefits, not only saving some money, but they're actually getting more loyalty benefits as well. So it just makes a lot of sense. The second fallback position would be, of course, the business pack. The same concepts apply. And then, of course, you know, you can always start with just a personal pack. But you'll see how simple these numbers are to create the volume because, you know, gosh, with an entrepreneur pack, you're talking at least 800 points or more toward this contest. And let's say if you just averaged 400 points as a business pack, it's going to really add up these points quite quickly as you enroll people. So the auto ship examples, also, let's take a look at that. So we talked about initial order with the packs. But let's take a look at the auto ship. Let's say if someone just orders one case of product, let's say one case of ASEA, that's 100 points. But really, I would suggest trying to get people on really at least the 150 or with the ASEA VIA source as part of the auto ship as well, so that they've got exactly what Alan talked about. This would be 195 points with a case of ASEA, 2 tubes of Renew 28, and the ASEA source. So if we're really looking to get them started with the whole product, but even if it's just the redox molecules, we've got these two, that's going to increase your points substantially. So here's what this would look like. Let's say 28 associates, 20 new associates, let's say they averaged only 200 points for the enrollment order. So you can see that that's, as an average, that's just most people coming in with just a personal pack and maybe having a couple people come in with a business pack. So if you're talking these larger packs, these numbers are going to move up very quickly. That totals 5,600 points, okay, if they just average 200. Now let's say if we take the auto ship, and let's say over the course of this period that you've got a total of 42 auto ships from the 28 people that you brought in, which would be pretty reasonable. That's only 1.5 per new associate over the contest period. That would be an average auto ship volume of only 130 points. So again, it's very conservative here. That totals 5,460 points, giving you the 11,000 point total that you need for the grand prize. So that's one example. And then we took the fourth place example, and you can see we've just extrapolated the same numbers here. 15 new associates at the same 200, that creates 3,000 points. and let's say you've got only 16 auto ship orders. So the idea here is, even as you're moving through this contest and you're bringing in a brand new person, you want to encourage them to make a run for it as well. So, you know, because the time frame is going to be a little bit shorter, but this is very doable contest. And we want as many people as possible. The company's got a block of rooms that they're securing for this fantastic promotion. So the question for you is, will you reach for the beach? It is going to make you have to make a decision to do it, because it's not going to happen by accident for most people. Now, there's another thing we want to talk about here, and that's to combine this. I love how ASEA does this, where we can actually combine two incentives at the same time, and the fast forward. If you're not doing the fast forward promotion, before you enroll someone, you want to click on fast forward and activate this. So what this means is, if you do back-to-back fast forwards, this is where you've, in fact, let me just back up here. And you've probably all seen this in your back office. If you don't, you can click on the flyer and get all the details. But as soon as you click this, you've got 14 days to sponsor 4 new people for a total of 800 points. And what's going to happen is, you're going to get all sorts of benefits, more loyalty points. You're going to get some free sample tubes. And the benefits, let's just take a look at this. The cash, if you were to complete 8 back-to-back fast forwards, and by the way, we've got numerous people in the team that have done exactly that, because they just make enrolling a priority, getting people started correctly. That would be a total of 32 people. So obviously well within the contest period. That would be an additional $4,100 from the fast forward alone. Combine that with the incentive of the other Reach for the Beach, and that would be over $8,200 of combined effort if you took first place and did it this way. So just a great way of combining these two incentives. So make your commitment to do it. Track your results each week in the back office. You'll be able to see, you know, how you're measuring up with everybody else, and get in touch with your upline, create the synergy. Just simply, you know, make it happen.
There's also a Melbourne event coming up on the 16th of this month, and the 24th in Sydney, where this incentive will be gone over again in detail. So make sure you bring your guests and your new associates to that, so they can have questions answered and have the energy in the room too of the excitement of this incentive.
And I'm just looking.
Cheers.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna bring Kayleen O'Connor on as well with us, and there's some incentives that are happening with in the U.S. One of which I just want to mention here. Chuck and Tammy have a great little thing happening that she's going to talk about, but also want to let you know that Chuck and Tammy have the company has decided to create a director's bonus for everybody. Now, typically a director's bonus is only for people within their first 2 weeks of enrolling two people. If they enroll 2 people in the first couple of weeks, then what happens is you get an extra $50 US for doing what we want to do anyway. That's on top of the other incentives and commissions. So a nice little incentive to just get a little extra bonus to start. So in Australian dollars, that'd be like over $70. So it's a nice little addition. Now, the company, if you didn't receive a director's bonus, they want everybody to know what that feels like. So between January the 1st and the 15th, if you brought on 2 new people, you know, with the auto ship and a 100-point order, then you're also going to get a director's bonus too. So that counts for everybody globally, that they're making that happen. Kayleen, are you with us? Kayleen, I think we see you there, but
can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are.
How are you?
Good.
So Kayleen,
yeah, I just want to acknowledge you guys, because again, I know the work that it takes to really put these things on, and it's a phenomenal exchange back to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayleen.
Thank you. Kayleen texted us and said, "Hey, we need to make sure we talk about this Difference Maker Nation promotion from Chuck and Tammy, because this is great that everybody can participate in this as well. I know you're excited about this. Walk us through it. Tell us a little bit about it."
Sure. Well, and you've already done a great job of summarizing it. So they've created a Facebook page called Difference Maker Nation. And again, all of us are under Chuck and Tammy's team as well, no matter what country you're in. So any of this is not country specific. This is Chuck and Tammy specific. So the first thing is as a leader, make sure that you get all of your downline, you know, connected to the Facebook page so you can be in the game. And as you said, they're giving us a chance through the 15th of June to recreate the director bonus, which is exciting, for sure. You know, why not? Well, let's relive our early days. And then each month there's a different focus. You can see the first month is really pushing all of us to get out there and get product on people, give them a product experience with our Renew 28 samples. And David Silverman does a great education video on this. You can literally just type in YouTube how to apply Renew 28, you know, in 3 minutes. He's got a link to a specific website as well, but actually I think it's right here. It's called 3timesin5minutes.com, with the 3 being the number 3. So if you go to that, you can literally pull up a little education video on the correct way, if you're not familiar, to go take a sample tube of the gel and apply it 3 times in 5 minutes to a person. What we find is that 90%, go ahead.
As complicated as that, 3 times in 5 minutes. Find out where.
Exactly. But if you want a little bit more certainty on it, there's even a video you can watch, which is really cool.
Yeah.
You know, and the beauty is, literally, I do this all the time, and the statistics are consistent. About at least 90% of the people that try it do feel a difference within 10 minutes of doing that. And one of the key points that David clarifies in the video is it does help if you ask the person, where do you have a level of discomfort before you put it on? Like maybe it's their shoulder or something. And on a scale of 1 to 10, what is that level of discomfort? And get the person to name it first, then do the 3 times in 5 minutes. And then afterwards, you know, maybe wait 5 or 10 minutes and go, okay, now what is on a scale of 1 to 10 your level of discomfort? And so then it makes it more real to the person if they've named how it feels before they do the test, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
people,
so that's,
people are funny. It's so important to do what you just said, because it might be agony, you know, it might be a level of 8 or 9, but then it goes down to a 5. And unless you've done that, they'll go, oh yeah, I still feel it. I don't think it worked. You know,
exactly. You got to get that awareness point. It's just like the health benchmark sheet that comes in all of our cases of ASEA. It's so, I find when I make the people fill that out before they start taking it a week after, you know, 90 days after, whatever, it makes a difference, because none of us want to remember our pain. And so when the discomfort or the somatic or whatever it is goes away, we often forget about it. But if you've marked it down on that health chart that comes, you know, in our case as well, you can go back and go, well, wait a minute, you told me you had problems with sleep. How is that now? And they're saying, I'm not sure if it's helping me, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So this is cool. So this promotion, I mean, really the first line right there, 3 and 5 applications in 30 days. I mean, all this really is about is talking with people and using the products to create a conversation, to create some interest, which is exactly what Alan Noble talked about, create interest. And they see results. Hey, I want to know more about this. You know, you can get that there. Now, Tammy's created an incentive here. If you just engage and use this to promote a little bit of social media, get some likes and different things, you're going to get some points and so forth as well. So do you want to just kind of walk us quickly through that? Yeah,
absolutely. And so, and then in that top part too, just if anybody isn't aware, you can always order additional Renew 28 samples from your back office. You can win them if you're winning your fast forward challenges, which is super cool. So, you know, it's pretty easy. I use my loyalty points a lot to order my samples. So I always have tons of them. You know, when you look at the brilliance of this game, it sort of flows. So the first month, the activity forces us to meet new people and give new people a product experience. Okay. And then obviously it gives you ways that they want you to take evidence, place it on the Facebook page so that you can see, you know, what you're doing. And then you go into the next month in July. Now, ideally, you're starting to build people up. You've built up your enrollments by getting products on people and doing the test. Now let's make people Director 300s. Let's, you know, first get one person on the left, one person on the right, get that director bonus solidified, and help them competitively make Director 300, you know, each week. And so then the next month focuses on awarding, making Director 300s, which is that foundation, because for any rank advancement, we have qualifications for the amount of Director 300 legs we're creating. Do you want to scroll down to the bottom of that, Bart?
Yeah, just
Then you have in your final month.
There we are.
Here we go. Perfect. Now it's all about, you know, your rank advancements, which also aligns with the three things that our company is always acknowledging us for. Developing leaders underneath you, the amount of rank advancements happening, obviously keeping people on Autoship and keeping people, and then enrolling people, right? So it just ties into the production activities we always want to build and focus on. So here you're going to start receiving points for yourself, and then your downline, you know, enrolling people, which is then creating that rank advancement. And you can see it talks about the achievement list, which is always in the back of our office in the recognition tab area, where we can look weekly at how our team and globally who is qualifying, just like you guys acknowledge us at the beginning of each call, top enrollers, emerging leaders, and people staying on Autoship, right? The box at the bottom is really important too, because again, it tells you what the name of the Facebook page is, and you can get bonus points if you use the hashtag system, which is the orange letters at the bottom. So when you do a post naming your production on the Facebook page, if you use those hashtags, then you're going to get more points that just help you in the competition.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. I love it. So let's go for it, guys. This is a great way to just turn it into a game. I like creating games with everything. So
Exactly.
now we've got 3 promotions all wrapped up into one. So if people are running for, particularly if you're here in Australia or New Zealand, Reach for the Beach, the Fast Forward, you can get extra benefit for this. It's just more great things to be able to create more momentum, turn it into a little bit of fun. And I love how, there's so many great things we can do with social media. So obviously this is really about, putting it out there with our team and sharing the results and creating some synergy around it. So thank you so much for jumping on. You're obviously going for it.
Yeah, and the other thing to think with on the competition, the award game that goes through the 15th of June, Chuck and Tammy have asked that when you enroll that person on your left and your right, to take a screenshot of your dashboard and send that to them. Obviously they're not going to be tracking us. We need to send the results to them so that they know that we're, qualifying essentially. So keep that in mind that, before on the 15th of June, when you do that, to send that snapshot to them.
That's a good point. Thanks for that, Kayleen. That's really important. And yet again, to reiterate, this is open for everyone in Tammy and Chuck's organisation. So thank you for joining us. It's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wish you could join us in South Pacific and Reach for the Beach.
That would be amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I could, if I could have dual citizenship and, have one leg in Australia and one leg in the US. There we go.
That's right.
But we'll see you in Dallas.
Yeah. Can't wait to see you at the convention.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then just a reminder too to everybody to definitely look at the event calendar in the corporate office, in our back office website, but also on ateamsupport.com, because there are phenomenal events obviously happening in Australia and New Zealand, but also in the US. And that's where you can find all kinds of super Saturdays happening throughout the summer that you can send your guests to, or obviously plug into yourself if you want to, join the fun. So
I'm really glad you mentioned that. So let me just reiterate, ateamsupport.com, and you want to plug into Trish and Bob's newsletter. And so the password that way is associate with a capital A, ateamsupport.com, associate with a capital A. So remember that, guys. Okay. Thank you so much, Kayleen. Appreciate you jumping on and sharing that with us.
Say hi to Hamilton as well.
Yeah.
I will.
Thanks, Kayleen. See ya. Okay, so of course we always keep in here, particularly for new people, a reminder of the loyalty rewards program as well, because there's 3 ways of earning loyalty rewards. They grow with time, from enrollment orders and first Autoship orders as well. And Kayleen mentioned a good point. Being able to use these loyalty points for the sample tubes is really a fun way of cashing them in, so to speak. And we love to send our free cases that we win or we achieve, I guess, accrue to people in our organisation around the world as well. So yeah, it's really fun gift giving process.
So hey, just a thought on this loyalty reward. So if you enroll someone with a entrepreneur pack, they already pick up like over a free case worth of loyalty points.
Yeah.
So just another great way to keep that in mind, that you're really helping to set them up for success with the products, the loyalty benefits and everything. So this is really big, guys. You want to make sure that your new people are aware of how this program works so that they stay on the product and reap the benefits. Because once someone's up to the 20% loyalty benefit, you know, it'd be crazy to get off.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, a reminder, you'll be accruing these points really quickly with the fast forwards as well.
That's right.
Okay, so what we're going to do is just a reminder for those of you who may not have had a chance to review the Genie training webinars. They're in when you log into Genie, either the pro or the free account. You'll be able to go to the training centre and get access to those trainings there for you to be able to work on to become more familiar with all aspects of Genie. And you can join Genie very easily through your ASEA virtual office. So it's really easy to join that program. And of course, there's the free, and the pro program is only $24.95 a month. Who doesn't love something for free? So Genie has great aspects that we can use in the personal program, but the pro program is really where team management, mentoring, and being able to really delve down and work more closely with your team, particularly with recognition, comes to the forefront.
We've really been enjoying using the Genie program. It's great to be able to see when I send someone an email what they've looked at, what they've opened up, where we're at, getting the reminders, all that sort of stuff. It's a fantastic tool, guys. You need to, if you're not using that, you need to get familiar with it and use it.
Just so you know, in terms of the differences, I'll run through really quickly here. With contacts, the pro version's in the green and the free version's in the blue. So you get full function for the first 10 contacts for the free version as opposed to unlimited with the pro. Yet again, with the team, you can only see the first level, no mentoring with the free. You can do everything in the team section with the pro. All training for both versions. And for the library, full access to all content, as well as internalization. So you can actually manually change the tabs and recreate new tabs and do things to really capture what you want in terms of training your team. So Deductor, some people are really loving using that as their accounting software and tracking. It saves up to $1,200 a year for people. It's only included with the pro. And then there's real-time business activity that's updated with this ASEA tab here, which is brilliant. There's text messages, priority support, everything that feeds through from ASEA. We get in the form of text messages and emails, etc., with the pro version, but it comes daily and weekly over digest emails with a few texts with the free version. So,
and if you're working this as a partner, if you've got a partner and you each have different contacts, that's cool too. With the pro version, you can have 2 separate accounts so you can work your own contacts independently, which is what we do.
Yeah, which is brilliant. So dip your toe in the water and feel around with the free version. It's a lot of fun. It's really intuitive. Larry is incredible with his experience in this industry, and Jeannie will hold your hand and walk you every step of the journey with ASEA. So just a reminder there. Of course, we've had a few people still ask, because it was tricky for us to know where to go in the beginning too. You can get ASEA VIA source on Autoship. You have to log into your virtual office in Australia or New Zealand. Go to My Business, and then you'll see ASEA VIA NFR Autoship listed there.
If you need to grab a screenshot of that just to make sure that you can follow that through, it's really pretty simple. But if you're the first time to kind of find it, might be a little bit tricky. Of course, you can place it just by clicking the little icon in your back office. That'll direct you to place in an order, but to put this on your Autoship certainly makes sense. You'll get the volume for it. Plus, on this contest, you want to get your new people on ASEA VIA for their Autoship too, because that volume will certainly count.
Absolutely. And of course, Alan Noble, as you've heard today, take a screenshot of this slide as well. There are some great interviews of both Alan Noble, Ambassador Diamond, and Ray Doon Ambassador Diamond. You can see a bit of their credentials there, particularly Ray Doon. Take a screenshot of these links. It's a phenomenal rundown and a great way for you to learn and get comfortable with explaining the ASEA VIA source to everybody. Okay, reminder, we do this every webinar. It's to leverage off the enrolment packs, particularly now with the Reach for the Beach incentives. So make sure that everyone in your team is comfortable with them and knows what is in them as well. We actually have a laminated copy, front and back. We take it along, leave it with people. Also, for those of you who are attending the Melbourne and Sydney event, there is an incentive that will be announced on the day for enrolments on the day for both the new enrollee and the sponsor. take an enrolment form along so that you can access that fantastic promotion, and also take the enrolment pack so you can run through with your guests what the options are on the day. Okay, the renewal process, I mentioned this last time, but they are as beginning, I've got to try and move this bar out of the way. My Zoom is, anyway, what's actually happening is renewal fees are going to be instituted beginning May 10th to all accounts that are 60 days past due. There's a link there for a video that will show you how to access and create your associate renewal report, which means that basically once people, if they haven't paid their renewal fee, they're not going to be able to access features of the virtual office except the renewal fee payment window. And once the fee's been paid, they'll be restored to full functionality. But just that's where to go to actually learn more about that. And of course, for those of you, we have a demo site. It's demo.aseastage.com. That's compliments of head office. We waited many, many years for this. It's brilliant because it's essentially anonymous, loaded with a whole bunch of names where you can
screenshot or write that down, guys.
Yeah, and the password is 2018 demo, and the username is demo. So just keep in mind that it's not going to expose any private information, and it's available in all languages as well, which is really good. So those of you in Australia, for insurance, public liability insurance, yet again, if you are doing big events, this is 140 annually from this company, Fenton Green. It covers up to 20 million in advertising and public liability insurance, and up to 100 people. So you'll want to know about this, and you want to make sure that you've got peace of mind and you're covered for the functions and events that you're hosting. And a lot of places these days actually require us to have it. So ASEA has organised this for us, and it's a great place to make sure that we go and fill it out. It takes just a few seconds. Okay, upcoming events. Be sure to take a photo of this link. It's not in MailChimp, you can't really create a more user-friendly link, but this is so that everyone can stay up to date with the newsletters that we put out, that usually fortnightly leading up to an event. They're twice a week, etc.
Hey, I'm going to put a little plug in. Melissa puts a lot of time and effort collecting all the information and putting these together, more time than what you probably think. It's important when you get that to really, to have a good look through it, promote it to your team, but also make sure that you get your new associates on there. I love what Ed says. You got to be at the spout where the information is coming out. And if you're not there, you have no idea what's happening, what's going on. That's where we'll advertise who the expert of the house is each week, information about promotions, information about this particular call. So definitely make sure that you put this down and make it part of the enrollment process when you bring someone on board, that you're getting them plugged in with this newsletter. So again, take a screenshot, or at the bottom of each of the newsletters, the link is right there as well.
And people can unsubscribe at the bottom of every single newsletter that comes out as well. So just a reminder, we've got the June Melbourne and Sydney tour coming up. Of course, the post-convention tour of Australia in September, and then of course the Diamond Summit in Ireland in October as well. So next month's special guests, we're excited because it's Dr. Foster and Terry Mulmed. They're triple diamonds. They live New York area, and they're absolutely fascinating to listen to. A lot of knowledge. Dr. Foster's a chiropractor, but he's also been in the orthotics business for an extremely long time, and he's responsible for being the only chiropractor to take ASEA into a hospital setting, the only chiropractor that we know of in the United States who's practiced chiropractic in a hospital. So a lot of background knowledge, very intelligent and extremely successful in the business. So Saturday, July 7th, we'll be hearing from them, which we're really excited
Terry
about.
Just has a remarkable product experience. ASEA saved her life.
It's amazing.
So you definitely want to be on that call. Get your guests on that call. Be really good. Definitely mark it down in your calendar.
So the first Saturday in July.
Yeah. Which I think is the next. There we are.
Yeah. So that's the next one up.
Mark all these dates in your calendars, guys, so that you've got them scheduled and you know how to promote them, and that you're there and making it happen. We've got some great speakers lined up for till the end of the year that you won't want to miss.
And this This is actually in every newsletter as well, the reminder of these dates. We get a lot of people who ask us for, ring us and ask us for information during the week. Check your inbox first, because it's typically sitting in an email in your inbox. So just a quick reminder.
Or create a folder for these emails, so you've got all the information.
Bart and I are hosting this Wednesday night's Expert in the House call at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. So bring guests along. We aim to finish them within about 35-40 minutes. So it's a really fun night, Wednesday night, for getting in homes together and joining these events. So the recordings for the Expert in the House with the diamonds being featured is at redoxdiamonds.com. That's where to go to collect videos and links, etc., from your favourite experts in the house. GoPro, a lot of you on the line are going. It's a commitment, but it's worthwhile, extremely worthwhile. It's on the Gold Coast coming up July 13th to 15th. There's still tickets left. Get your accommodation booked, because I know that there's not a lot of rooms left in the general area without having to actually travel. This will be the network marketing event of the year, and we're really excited that so many of you are going to be there joining us at that event.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Eric Worre is, well, gosh, you don't even have to fly to Las Vegas for this one.
Yeah,
this is the first time that Eric Worre is going to be in Australia. The number of people that he's pulled at his events, like 20,000 people. The last big event, he had Tony Robbins that spoke at that event, Robert Kiyosaki. He just really attracts the very best of the best in the industry. I love what he says. He said maybe network marketing isn't perfect, but it is absolutely a better way, and it truly is. You'll come away from this bulletproof. What I mean by bulletproof is no one will be able to shake your conviction and enthusiasm with how great this industry is, because it truly is an amazing industry. So, so definitely make seriously look at being at this event. We're going to be there with quite a few people. So
the Melbourne event, just know it is on the 16th from 1 till 5. And it's at the Mulgrave, Country Club. Now, the early bird tickets are $15, but only until June 12th. So make sure you log on to aseaevents.eventbrite.com.au to get your tickets. Guests, of course, are for free. And then we're following that in Sydney, where Bart and I will be speaking as well, Sunday, June 24th, same start time at the Ryde Eastwood Leagues Club. And the early bird tickets of $15 is only until June 20th. So we've already ordered our tickets just to make sure it's covered so it doesn't pass the deadline. And yet again, there's no cash on the door, so everyone needs tickets. Even the guests need tickets to come along to that. aseaevents.eventbrite.com.au. There it is again. You can also buy tickets through the Facebook page ASEA AU Diamond Events. Of course, we've heard Alan talk about the convention. Just to note that if you've enrolled a new associate, or if you are a new associate, you've enrolled in the last 90 days, you can still purchase a convention ticket for only $179 US as opposed to $299, but you need to contact customer support in Australia to be able to redeem this exclusive discount. So that will absolutely be worth it. So stay on top of that and make sure you let your new associates know that there is a discounted ticket price just for them. There's the building. It's amazing. And only, 40 minutes, I think, from Alan?
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be an amazing event. We're really excited about it.
Oh, by the way, at this event, for our team, and I think this is Thursday night, if I'm not mistaken, Ed and Rebecca Weens have organized a team dinner for us, and we'll be taking some buses to a little place a short distance away for a Texas barbecue buffet. So be a great place to connect with people just before that event. So definitely look in the newsletter for the details of that coming up, and we'd love to have you join us for that.
So Friday and Saturday, February 15th and 16th, we've got the dates locked in, completely confirmed now at the Gold Coast Convention and Exhibition Centre for next year. There's an Envision training by Tyler Norton, which I know all of you will be there for. He's someone not to be missed. He's absolutely inspirational. And just to know that the super early bird ticket is $79 US, and it's only until July 31st. So make sure, do your team a favour and get them all to buy their tickets before July 31st, because the increase is $99 US, which is significant.
And you could actually block your room too, without even paying What's the details on that there?
You can state the Meriton Apartments. Lorraine got us onto that originally. And you can lock in the rate, but you can actually pay when you arrive at the hotel. So it's worth it.
So the sooner you lock in the rate, the better it is.
Yeah, it's just 5 minutes walk from the actual
Meriton Apartments.
Yeah. And then Nicole Dennis has managed to secure Dr. Darren Weissman as our keynote speaker on Sunday, February 17th at our Peak Performance Training event. So it's very exciting that we've got Dr. Darren Weissman, because he's a best-selling author, and he's also the developer of the Lifeline technique, which is a very popular technique that a lot of chiropractors in the industry have been using. So he travels globally. He's a massive success in his traditional business, and he's going to be talking to us about creating mindset as well as time-proven leadership principles and the pathway to duplication and leverage. He often features in the top 10 Autoship All-Stars globally as well for ASEA. So we're really excited that he's going to be joining us. Yet again, ultra early bird tickets, they're only until the end of this month, $49, and you can see they go up. So I've already ordered all of our tickets just to make sure that we capitalise on them before the price increase. Thank you so much for joining us. We know the call went a little over today, but with Alan Noble on the line, it's absolutely worth it. We're excited that you will be able to get the recording out. You'll be able to share it with the people in your team who weren't able to join us this morning. We'll have to feature Mao Sword next month so we can congratulate him publicly. He had a few technology issues this morning logging in. He was driving around. So we're looking forward to seeing you at the Sydney event in person if you're going to be there. Otherwise, don't forget the Melbourne event, and have a lot of fun with Reach the Beach, as well as Chuck and Tammy's incentive as well. So we've been completely prepped for success. It's been a fantastic call. Really great, as I said, to have Alan, and we'll July 7th, Peter Mulmet and Terry, Dr. Foster and Terry. So,
hey, thanks everybody.
Thanks for joining us. Catch up with you soon.
Okay, bye for now.
See ya.